Hi there, Ilikenuman. Yeah, thanks for your reasoned video response.
I think it is possible to know absolute truths, I do, but I don't think it is possible to know that you know. Even if, by chance, you've managed to learn absolute truth, you can't know that you've not made a mistake in your reasoning.
Okay, I'm going to get straight into it. The first issue I'm going to deal with is this question of whether you can know what you know with certainty. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is an unnecessary complication, because either you know something or you don't. Knowing that you know is simply another kind of knowledge. So let's just dispense with that extra kind of knowledge and just stick with actually knowing. Do you know that you are listening to this right now? I put it to you that you do. You do know that you're listening to this right now. The question of whether you know that you're listening to this right now is a non-question. The knowledge itself is what matters. And that's what we're talking about. Absolute knowledge is exactly like that. It's immediate. It's not complicated. It's extremely simple. It's not something that can be questioned. You can't question that you're experiencing this right now. That's what it's like. Now, the question of the Atheist Evolutionary tree, the video that my associate Dan Rowden says he didn't particularly like, and he was wondering whether he should take that video down. Well, I personally quite like that video. I think it's funny and stimulating, and it did stimulate quite a bit of stuff, and it conveyed what I consider to be quite a number of truths. Let's just quickly go through some of those truths. Firstly, the fact that science by itself, when it's divorced from philosophy, is quite boring. I made that point. It's true. It's significant. It's a significant point. The swearing atheists. I think I was making the point that I don't like hearing an overly much amount of swearing in people's videos. I mean, it's a good point. I think that people's videos can be spoiled by too much swearing. The naive atheists, look, really, saying that somebody's naive is not a big deal, really. Some of those people who are in the naive category, they admit that they are naive. I'm thinking about Ghost a Day in Person and Chikamumu, who have admitted that they are naive. So they wouldn't be very surprised that they were put into that category. Fact versus religion, definitely naive in my opinion. Maybe she doesn't want to admit it. It's not my business.
If you were so above it all, if you were so much wiser than all these people, then why would you make a video about Ponage in response to her? Why are you arguing with these people in the comment section? Clearly it's pissing you off. You claim that you're above it all and you have a special way of thinking about things and you don't use emotion when you're making your judgments and all that. That's bollocks, isn't it? Clearly.
Okay, on to the question of emotions. Now, in that video, the Atheist Evolutionary tree, there was a category there for the wise atheists, and I put the Men of the Infinite in that category, but really the wise atheists is an ideal which I think I approach it. I'm not perfect by any means. Yes, I think emotions are a bad thing in that they can distort a person's reason and therefore I try to go beyond emotions. I don't try to suppress them, but it is possible through mental development to overcome what causes emotions, so that the emotions don't arise even in a seed form. And that leaves your mind free to reason without distraction. Now, you mentioned that my making videos about ownage or arguing with people in the comments is a sign of emotion. Now, I've already said I'm not perfect. Having said that, it doesn't follow that just because I argue with people means that I'm motivated by emotion. And you're you're guessing what my motivations are. And I think that for the most part you're wrong in your guess. As you know by the videos I've put out, I don't have a very high opinion of YouTube atheists generally. I think they're highly flawed. They're barely any better. No, I don't think they're any better than religious people at all. They don't have the same delusions. They have different ones, but effectively barely any difference at all, as far as I can see. So what I'm trying to do is to stir something up so that who atheists really are comes to the surface, where we can all see it, and then I can deal with it. I can point things out. I can say, hey, look, this is what you really are. And that's what I'm doing. As an addendum, I'll just quickly say a few words about this argument of yours about absolute truths.
If I were to say you cannot possibly know that you know absolute truths because you may have made a mistake in your reasoning, and then you say, well, how do you know that that's true if you've made a mistake in your reasoning? All you're doing is just applying the logic that I've made. Okay? Even if what I'm saying is perhaps contradictory, that doesn't therefore mean that, oh, actually, yeah, fuck it. Kevin is right. Kevin definitely does know, and he definitely can know that he knows.
Yes, it doesn't mean that everything I say is right, but it does mean that I can be absolutely right. It means that I could be absolutely right if your reasoning was correct, which I don't accept that it is.